and gentlemen, may I just remind you as well, after the first act, there will be a very short interval, which will be an opportunity to get more tickets and drinks and go to the toilet and have a cigarette outside, because it is strictly no smoking in here. Thank you.
Cigarette, but I can't resist the pleasure that it gives me. And yet, I carry on until the next day. Say a prayer each night. Well, I thank the Lord above that I am living. I might be wrong, but this is all I've got. Take my smoke and booze away, and life for me will stop. Stop those arguing voices. Stop that racing heart. Let me sleep in peace tonight. Tomorrow I'll start anew. No more booze, I promise. No more nicotine. Let me close these bloodshot eyes and dream. Let me close these bloodshot eyes and dream. Let me close these bloodshot eyes and dream. Dream. Once upon a time, I went to the doctor's and he told me I was going to die. Not right away, not there and then, but soon. My cholesterol count was over twice the amount it should have been. I didn't say much. I didn't think much. I think I just said, oh. And then I just sat there, thinking of absolutely nothing. I mean, I almost felt calm, healthy even. And the headache I've been living with, suddenly, it went. There are certain options open to you, however, he said, that could... Well, I can't remember the exact words. Basically, what he was saying was, if I was to completely alter my lifestyle, go on some mind-boggling non-fry-up diet, gave up my habitual debauchery, and that's not easy to say when you're pissed. If I did all that, had treatment, an operation perhaps, there was a good chance that my life expectancy might be doubled, he said. Yeah, but double from what? I mean, 1 day to 2, 2 weeks to 4, 20 years to 40. I'd never wanted to become a strong, healthy, senile old man. I'd secretly imagined going out like one of those Hollywood greats, you know, living on the edge and it just not being my lucky day. Pow! But I wasn't ready for it yet. So perhaps I should listen to this apple-a-day doctor, I thought. And I did. For a long time. I watched his lips moving 10 to the dozen as he conscientiously gave me his guide to good living, but I was deaf to the words. Don't know why, but I started contemplating death. What it'd be like. No more financial problems. No more obligations. No more fights. On the other hand, there'd be no more sex. No more movies. I mean, I love movies. No more Kath and the kids. Yeah, perhaps I should listen. Be good to your body, and your body will be good to you, he said. Aye, I'll drink to that, I said. And would you believe, he didn't laugh. I mean, this doctor had not got a sense of humour. He couldn't give a laugh to a dying man. And what made it worse was he just shook his head, as if to say, oh, you'll never learn. So I replied with a nod that said, aye, you're not wrong. And that's all we did from there on in, nodding and shaking, shaking and nodding. I came out feeling like one of those little dogs you see in the back of car windows. I bet he had one in his. No, on second thoughts, I bet his back windscreen was a max of maxims for a better life. You know, don't drink and drive. Save the whale. I love my heart. Activity holiday stickers. Smile if you had sex this morning would not be one of them. And that's probably what got up his nose, because I'd had sex that morning. He could smell it. He was jealous of my virility, that was it. And I was angry. Angry that he couldn't show a bit of compassion, let alone a sense of humour. I mean, his all-purpose remedy for the likes of me was to hit me in the guts with a basic cold truth. Change me ways and there might be a 50-50 chance of doubling the dice. Well, that's all he'd given me, you know. A 50-50 prescription for survival. Standing outside that surgery, I nearly put my fist through his car window. I hated him. I hated all his healthy alternatives. But by Christ, I was going to fight for better odds. Stop those hiding voices. Stop that racing heart. Let me sleep in peace tonight. Tomorrow I'll start anew. No more booze, I promise. No more nicotine. Let me live this life outside my dreams. Let me live this life outside my dreams. Let me live this life outside my dreams. Dreams. You know, I love dreams. Nobody can touch you, and you can touch anybody you like. That's how life should be. I dreamt about Diana Dawes that night, I think. Or was it Bridget Bardot? No, it wasn't Twiggy, that's for sure. And a very satisfying dream it was too. I woke up grinning from here to down there. Kath was taking the lads to school for their exams. It was a good job. She'd have been jealous of a smile as big as that. Still, it started my day off with a bang. Fresh as a daisy I was, ready for my war against death. Right there and then I started my very own I Love My Heart crusade with all the vengeance of Paul Newman in Somebody Up There Likes Me. Oh, I love that film. And I was right for a good boxing match. I'd never liked brown. Suddenly, it was my favourite colour. Brown was the colour of life. Brown was beautiful. Another sticker for the dogs wouldn't scream. Yeah, everything was brown. Brown sugar, brown rice, brown decaffeinated, brown samples, brown cigars, browned off. No, well, no, not quite. I mean, I missed the old brown ale a bit, that's all. I mean, red wine in a pine jug doesn't quite do the trick, does it? Standing at the bar with all the lads, I looked like the wimp at the end of a chorus line. That was a crap film. I was the misfit. The little brown jug everybody pretended to love. It was a joke to begin with, but it soon wore thin. After a few weeks, I thought, well, no, I'll have to stop going into the bar. But I couldn't do that. I was the publican, for Christ's sake. I owned the bloody place. If I couldn't have a drink in my own bloody house, what was the place coming to, eh? I'd worked my arse off for 15 years, making people happy, making people pissed. I couldn't stop now. I had a mortgage to pay. I just bought my wife and family a house where we could all live in peace instead of hearing jukeboxes and fruit machines all day long. Wasn't my choice. I was only giving the public what they wanted. If I didn't do it, somebody else would. I'd become what I was. The publican, the host with the most. I mean, trying to be healthy, it was taking all that away from me. I wasn't ready for a new life. Being good didn't suit me. I needed to get a bit of the devil back inside me, a bit of sin. The little brown jug had to go back on the shelf for a while. So it did. I was going to be a landlord for as long as the Lord permitted. And cheers to life expectancy. Sat back at the bar, drinking half pints of lager. I started to inhale my 5-pack of finely filtered faggorettes. That's not easy to say when you're pissed either. Started telling me old jokes again. Oh, knocking them dead I was. I could hear all their voices echoing around the pub. Oh, he's all right. He's back on form. Nothing wrong with him. Good old Bob. Cheers, Bob. Hey, Bob. Only the healthy die young, eh? Hey, Bob. Have you heard the one about the vegetarian who got run over by Linda McCartney? I had heard it before, but I still laughed. I mean, I had to. Everyone was so happy to have me back in the throng, back among the living, soon to be dead. And their philosophy was simple. If one went down, we all went down together. All for one, the more the merrier. We were like bandits that night. I even felt like fighting. But I didn't. It was a schoolboy reunion binge. In the course of 3 hours, I graduated from 5 Woodbine to a 20-pack of South African tips. It was too late for politics. It was time to be a rebel in my own backyard. James Dean I was, doing a chicken run all the way home. There were no lights to jump, of course, just a couple of cattle grids and a defunct rail crossing, but what the hell, it's all in my mind. My imagination was running riot. I was alive again for the first time in ages. I could do anything. I could arrive home, legless, to a burnt dinner and a fuming wife, and still persuaded to participate in the best sex that had been had for centuries. At least, that's what I thought. Until I came to climb the stairs. I started to feel like Sean Connery in The Hill. That's a good movie. I was dripping with sweat, gasping for breath, willing my body to move, but it wouldn't. It was on strike. This was no spanner in the works. It was some ruthless shop steward out for blood. One out, all out. The machine had stopped. There I was, squirming around on the carpet, crying for help. I looked pathetic. I was pathetic. I was no war hero. I was a snivelling little skunk drowning in a pile of Vindaloo vomit, making promises I'd never keep. Oh, God, take this pain away. Help me, and I swear I will never get this pissed again. Never will I get drunk again. Never will I drink too much for my brain. Never will I drive my mind insane. No, never, ever will I get drunk again. Then again I just might. What the hell, I just might. Who knows? Oh, just out of spite. Oh, but never will I get sick again. Never will I eat too much for my mind. I'm not the anorexic kind. No, never, never will I get sick again. Then again I just might. And knows? Maybe tonight. So, there I was. I was splattered all over the carpet. Come on. Thanks. Wake up. Let's clean you up and get you into bed. Kath had come to the rescue, as ever. She'd heard the whining. The kids hadn't, thank God. I was a dead weight, but she still managed to drag me up the stairs. Shall I call you a doctor? She whispered. And I was just shaking my head like one of those little dogs. She was so gentle, you know. She nursed and she mothered me like no one else. Go to sleep, love. I won't let you die, she said. I love you. And I couldn't speak. I remember smiling as hard as I could and her smiling back as if to say, I know. But she didn't get it. I mean, how could she? I had pains shooting around every part of my body. Every breath I took felt like it was going to be the last. Oh, I swear I'll come down from that shelf. I swear if I wake up in the morning, I will become a little brown jug again. Brown is beautiful, 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 brown is beautiful! And it worked. I woke up the next morning feeling like shit. But I was still there. And so was Kath. Still smiling. She must have moved in the night, but, maybe she had. Come on, she said. We are going to the doctor's. No, I said. Not for you, she said. For me. I think I might be pregnant. Bloody hell, I thought. How did that happen? I've been sleeping with Diana Dawes for months. I shot out of bed like it'd been a one-night stand. I was dressed, ready to go before... It was a joke. Kath was beside herself. Well, how else would I get you to go, she said. I'll bloody well get you back for this one day, woman. Just you wait, I will bloody well get you back. Shit, shooting pains again. I had to wrap my arms around my chest and... Oh, then I couldn't breathe. Oh, please, God, not again. Let me breathe. Come on. Breathe. Breathe. Oh, God. Till the next time. Kath, she sat me on the bed and put her arm round me and I drifted off to dreamland like a Cheshire cat. Come on, she said. We are going to the doctor's. And I was too weak to argue this time. And then, she said, you are going to get your hair cut. That woke me up. Christ, woman, what the bloody hell are you talking about? I'm lying at death's door and all you can think about is my bleeding hair. And then I caught sight of it in the mirror. And my God, she was right. It was a mop of deranged dandruff. I looked like Dustin Hoffman in Midnight Cowboy. Now that's a really great film, that is, you know. I took my mother to see that, thinking it was a Western. I nearly died of embarrassment, and she enjoyed every shocking moment of it. Oh, I needed a haircut, all right. I needed a doctor. And as sure as all things come in threes, I needed Kath. Well, I was in no fit state to drive myself into town, was I? Oh, I looked at Kath as we got in the car. She looked beautiful. She reminded me of Faye Dunaway in Bonnie and Clyde. I've seen that dozens of times. I watched her touch the gear stick. It was erotic. Like when Bonnie touched Clyde's gun for the first time. I really had to stopped myself from feeling I was Warren Beatty, thinking about robbing banks and paying off the mortgage in one hit. Pow! And that's when something really spooky happened. Kath turned on the radio, full blast, and out came Georgie Fame, singing the one ballad I really wanted to hear. Bonnie and Clyde, la 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 la. Was this a Norman? Was this to be our last ride together? Was it Ella's like? I had to play Dick Tracy, yeah? Bonnie and Clyde, la 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 la. It was Friday morning at the local GP's. Seemed as though the whole town had come out in a rash. They were all there. Screaming babies with whooping cough, pregnant mothers with pregnant daughters, grannies with gout, teenagers with pox, daddies with hangovers, kiddies with spots, measles, tonsillitis, OAPs coming out for a moan, housewives coming for a chat on the side, confirmed bachelors coming for confirmation. Hay fever here, more fever there, here a sniff, there a sniff, everywhere a sniff, sniff. It was a den of sick iniquity. If I wasn't ill now, I soon would be. Even the doctor would need a doctor after a day of this. It was like a disease exchange. The multi-off-colour swab shop. Even the mice would need a vet. There was a plague in the air, germs on the ground, bugs in the chairs, viruses and allergies flying around. Spiders catching the bugs, germs catching the flies, mouths catching the fly. I don't know why I swallowed a fly. Perhaps I'll die. In short, it was the National Health out of service. There was no queue, no one was first and everyone was last. I mean, my name was called and the whole waiting room looked daggers. Look, I said, my bloody wife's having a baby. That shut them up. That always does a trick. They gave us our blessing, and in we went, in to see the same apple-a-day doctor, still shaking his head. And guess what? He got a cold. Doctor, you don't look well. Doctor, you look so pale. You can tell me you're tired through lack of sleep. You can say that it's due to the food you eat. You might be standing on your own 2 feet, but doctor, you don't look good. I said, doctor, you don't look right. And the whole town is waiting outside. There's Bill the butcher and Joe the thief, Flo the downstairs maid. Well, there's Nancy the boy and Tom the girl and doctor. They've all gotta be saved. I said, doctor, you don't look well. Well, I've already told you twice. Phone your unions, phone your boss. Shout for a few days off. Well, shout for help, you can't help yourself. 'Cause doctor, you just gotta help us. For the sake of the wife and the family. For the sake of the wife and the family. For the sake of the wife and the family. Oh, doctor, you gotta help me. Oh, doctor, hey, you gotta help me. Oh, doctor, you just gotta help me. Well, there was no guide to good living lecture this time. Not with all those Flo's and Joes waiting outside. I'm sending you to see a specialist, he said. Do you have any medical insurance? No, I said. I don't believe in people making profit out of illness. That shut him up. Yes, we do, Cat blurted out. I looked at it. We took one up when we got the mortgage. Well, that shut me up. I got no idea. I mean, I was never any good with forms. Kath did the paperwork, I did the business. Shake on it, it's a deal. Honest, Bob. That's it. It's a warm hand you have. I think you should see him right away, he said. He's the best tech in town. Well, does this weekend suit you? Won't he be playing golf? I said. And would you believe, he still didn't laugh. I mean, this doctor had not got a funny bone in his body. Mind you, he got contacts, I'll give him that. Within minutes, he'd made an appointment for the very next morning, and that was a Saturday. I mean, this renowned specialist was obviously a good friend of his, you know. A golfing partner, perhaps. They'd both given up their putting weekend, all for me. Came out of that surgery, floating on air, thinking, how many of those zombies waiting inside would be seeing a Ballesteros of the medical world the very next day? Not many, that's for sure. Good job we were covered, eh? I said to Kath. Doctor, you've made my day. Oh, doctor, I'm proud to say, from now on, I'll toe the line. An apple a day, yeah, that'll be fine. Brown is beautiful every time. Oh, doctor, I hope you get well soon. Resembling something from Michael Jackson's Thriller. I went mad at Kath. Look at the bloody state of me! This is all your stupid bloody fault! Of course it wasn't her fault. It was Al the barber's fault. Al the friendly barber who couldn't cut hair. I've been going to for years and I always came out with me hair lying in every direction but down. My face full of blotched blood and scars from what was literally a close shave. He did a good line of strong tea and free condoms, though. He'd slipped a couple in my pocket that afternoon. I could feel them rubbing against me as we were dancing. Christ, I was randy. And I was pissed. We both were. We decided to celebrate one more night of debauchery and mad passion of sex. I still had the strength for that. Well... I could lie there with an erection at least. In fact, I'd still got one in the morning, so we did it once more for luck. And I'd still got one when we arrived at Sevi, the specialists. Late. He opened the door and his eyes went right down to my crutch. Aye, I thought. Then I realised my flies were open. Your flies open, he said. Just letting the little boy breathe, I said. And would you believe... he laughed! We all did. I'd finally found a healer with a sense of humour. Not only that, he was a film buff. Well, I mean, that was 2 out of 3, wasn't it? And when we both clocked our haircuts and simultaneously went, Al the barber, well, that was it. Free condoms all round. Plain sailing from now on. I was in good hands. He was a good man. Right, he said after a couple of strong cups of tea. Let's get to work. All right, Mammy, I said. And in we went. Into his private treatment room. His living laboratory. And it was magnificent. The technology to cure. A machine for every test. X-rays, heart, blood, lungs, lights, lights. Action! He put me through them all, and I came out with flying colours. Until it came to the final test. The running machine. He wired me up to this electrocardiogram. He put me on this simulated road. And as I I watched my heart pulsating on the computer screen, he told me to run. So I did. I ran for my life. Jogging, jogging, gotta keep jogging. 1, 2, 3 trips, 4. Gotta keep jogging for 1 trip more. Then I'll be rich as the king is rich. I could run in the Olympics and never get the sticks. 7, 7, it's 7 o'clock. My legs feel then, but I'm not gonna stop. I've gotta go to work, gotta do my job. I'm a worker, not a shirker, and I won't become a slob. If I jog, jogging, jogging, gotta keep jogging. 1, 2, 3, cup 4. Gotta keep jogging for 1 cup more. Then I'll be free as the air is free. It's really hard to breathe, but I'm healthy as can be. 8, it's 8 o'clock. I feel a bit faint, not gonna stop. Gotta go to work, gotta do my job. I'm a worker, not a shirker, and I won't become a slob. If I jog, jogging, jogging, gotta keep jogging. 1, 2, 3, cubes 4. Gotta keep jogging for 1 cube more. Then I'll be sick as again I'm sick. Everything is fine if I get so quick. 9, it's 9 o'clock. I've arrived in time. Now I've got to stop. I've got to go to bed. Gotta go to sleep. I better phone the boss and say I won't be in this week. Good God. I'm a slob.
Get your drinks now at the bar. Go to the toilet, have a cigarette outside. Be very, very quick about it if you can. For those late comers, the barman will give you a quick recap on what's been happening.
Bob! You're right, Bob. Bob, what's happening?
So hard and yet he fails because he's not the man he was. He was strong like Samson, now he's weak. He can't even speak your name. Try to love him despite it all, but you're fighting a losing game. He is his own man, a man's man. the man you love. Wait for the man you When the man you love, your husband and father of your children, collapses in front of you and the doctor says it's a wonder he's alive, you'd think his wife would be devastated. But I wasn't. I wanted to say I told you so, but I didn't. I just stayed quiet, level-headed. I had told him, though, till I was blue in the face. I'd go blue and he'd go red. From white to red in a matter of seconds, veins bulging out of his neck, screaming at me, "Go away, woman! For Christ's sake, woman! Shut up, woman!" So I would. I'd keep mum while Dad went gallivanting. Didn't stop me worrying myself sick till he got back home, though. Drunk, half dead, and dangerous. If we could get as far as making love, I'd be all right. Then he'd sleep. I'd feel safe for a while. Just lying there, talking to myself. Pretending I was talking to him. Getting all the answers I wanted to hear. I'd always known he was a man of few words, but they were too angry to listen to anymore. I hadn't stopped loving him, though. I could never stop loving him. It was his illness. I knew that. He just kept pushing and pushing himself to prove that, I don't know, that he was his own man. Invincible. Unpredictable. And all the other things ending bull. He went at those tests like a bull in a china shop. Laughing and joking with the doctor. Inviting him for a game of golf. Every time he told him to say "ah," he shouted "4." Pushing and pushing himself to the point of collapse. He jumped on that running machine, tangled in wires, and forgetting miles, within minutes he'd collapsed like a marathon no-hoper. Well, that shut him up. He decided to listen for a change. We both did. I must say, this doctor was fantastic. He gave us books, drew diagrams of hearts and arteries and blood, explained all the abbreviations, ECG, PTCA, CABG, ECG, LAD, CAD. That's what Bob had, coronary artery disease. Not enough blood was flowing through his heart. All those fags and fat had furred up his arteries. Lots of people had been cured and gone on to lead healthy lives. The worst option was surgery, and even that had a 99% success rate. Bob wasn't your ordinary man, but he wasn't different enough to be one of the 1%, surely. He'd pull through. Good old Bob might not come to that. There was a minor operation where they'd have to insert a catheter into his groin. Catheter? That's a good omen, Bob said. We all forced a laugh. They push a tube into the groin and send a wire with a deflated balloon on the end of it up into your heart. When it gets to the diseased area, they blow up the balloon to try and widen the artery. A balloon, Bob said. Let's hope it's not one of Branson's. He then went on comparing the operation to one of his favourite films as a kid, The Fantastic Voyage. It's about a boat full of doctors who are miniaturised and injected into somebody's bloodstream. It practically got through the whole plot before the doctor had the sense to say, "Ah, yes, I think I've seen it." Well, it was obvious from his face he hadn't. But there were more important things to discuss than Raquel Welch's tits. And they seemed to be the main source of Bob's obsession with the film. He was oblivious to everything, of course. If there was room for a crack, he'd crack it. The doctor asked him if he smoked. He said, "No, I gave up just before I came in." Well, we had to laugh at that. The funny truth of it all. Then came the serious truth. The specialist told him he had to go into hospital for a final test. On Monday, his CC test, as we called it. A cardiac catheterization. Another good omen. He'd have a special dye injected into his arteries, through the groin again. And under X-ray cameras, it would show how bad the blockages were. "Hey, Kath, I'm going to be in the movies," he said. Another joke for Pancake Day. He was right, though. He was going to be in the movies, his very own. And at the end of it, we'd all find out whether or not it was worth a sequel. He was his own man, a man's man. The greater the pain, the greater the fight. You know he's gonna love you one of these nights, and so you wait, 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 wait. Wait for the man you love. All the next day was spent in role reversal mode. Bob became the maniac organizer while I lie there getting quietly smashed. The church bells rang and I was on my third gin and tonic. Overnight, it transformed into Superman. I looked down, he seemed to have a permanent stiff on. No time for sex, though. He was too busy on the phone. He hated the damn phone. You'd be lucky to get a no or a yes out of him. Now I couldn't get him off it. Half an hour he was on to his mother, more than he'd spent during our entire marriage. I'd always be the one who'd keep him or away from him. Not now. He told her every little detail. I was amazed, really. He'd taken it all in. He quoted from the booklets and drew drawings as he talked. He'd memorized the lot. I was still only halfway through the shock and another G&T. He has this ability to scan read, take out the useful bits, leave the rest. Mind you, it sometimes meant he could misinterpret a whole novel. Not that he goes in for novels much, he's more a facts and figures man, murder, playboy, and now heart surgery. He was growing away from me by the second. Strong and independent again. The man I'd fallen in love with. The sort you have to catch and let go if you want them to stay. Trouble was, I'd forgotten how to let go. I'd been holding on so tight for so long. I hated him being so self-sufficient. I hated it. Sitting there getting smashed all day while he was rushing round like a little Cub Scout. He was only going into hospital for 2 days and he packed 3 of everything. His lucky bloody number. He stuck a list on the inside of his suitcase. 3 socks, 3 t-shirts, 3 undies. It had taken 3 pairs of pyjamas if it had any. That was going to be a bit of a shock for the nurses. I asked him if I could help. He said, no. Do you want any breakfast? No. Dinner? No. Tea? No. And I got more out of him on the damn phone. So I just sat there and waited. And waited. And by bedtime, Father Time himself couldn't have waited. I'd drunk enough Gay Gordons that day to turn Mary Whitehouse into a nymphomaniac. I wasn't hot, I was scarlet. I wanted my man and I was going to have him, ready, willing and able or not. If he wanted role reversal, he was going to get it on his back. Tomorrow is his CC test, tonight his SEX test. I was going to have my wicked WAY with him, and to hell with the throbbing headache. He'd done it to me often enough. I preened myself in the bathroom like some 16-year-old virgin on the verge. I vamped across the bedroom floor. I dimmed the lights and started to make his favourite kind of music. I'm gonna love him tonight if it's the very last thing that I do. I'll put a smile on his face, so when he gets to heaven, then he'll recognize the place. I'm gonna love him tonight if it's the very last thing that I do. We're gonna make it tonight, just like the very first time. We're gonna take a chance, so if we go to limbo, we can show them how to dance. We're gonna make it tonight, just like the very first time. Oh, ooh, oh la la. 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 He's gonna love me tonight, even if it kills. He'll thrill me through and through. So if I go to hell, well, I can tell him what to do. He's gonna love me tonight, even if it kills. Forget you love me, forget you not. Forget I love you, forget me not. I'm gonna love him tonight if it's the very last thing that I do. I'm gonna love him tonight if it's the very last thing that I do. Ooh la la. It's amazing what a crisis can do for your sex life. We bumped until dawn. It was a very noisy night. The kind that makes the neighbours jealous. Or call the police. Thank God the kids were staying with friends. That would have been taking sex education a bit far. They were old enough, though. They were probably out doing the same thing. I only hope they weren't stoned out of their minds on drugs and drink. That was the one thing wrong with it all, really. All that passion and I'd been pissed. I start fantasizing too much when I'm drunk. Still, if he can pretend I'm Faye Dunaway, I can pretend he's Burt Lancaster. Lying on that beach like Deborah Kerr, wrapped in his arms, the water tickling our feet. Mind you, the bed was like a swimming pool. And blow me, when the alarm clock went, we did it once more for luck. I was still wet when we arrived at the hospital. Late. At the very last minute, Bob had insisted on driving into town to buy a pair of pyjamas. And they had to be Paisley. He settled for candy stripes in the end, red and white to match his eyes. He wouldn't let me drive, of course. I feel like Steve McQueen in The Great Escape, he said. He drove like a man possessed. And worse than that, he nearly drove me mad singing Bonnie and Clyde all the way there. Minus the words. He was never one for words. La 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 la. Bonnie and Clyde. La 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 la. It was Monday morning at the Five-Star Clinic. We checked in without paying. His private room had it all. Everything from ensuite bidet to bedside Bible. The insurance I'd taken out was paying off. This was the Hilton with a twist of a Lemsip. The first thing Bob did was put on his candy-striped pajamas. Then, courtesy of his personal two-way intercom, he ordered a bottle of rosé. There is little harm in moderate drinking, the booklet had said, and Bob was playing it strictly by the booklet. He asked me to join him on the bed. I did. He said, "Where's the rosé?" I said, "It hasn't arrived." He slipped his arm around me. I began to feel nervous I needn't have. He was only reaching for the TV remote. We lay there and watched 3 films in 3 hours. When he got bored with one, he flicked to the other. I was tired, Bob was bored. The rosé still hadn't arrived. The nurse came in with a glass of water and a sedative. He didn't argue. She was too big. When she asked me to leave, I didn't argue either. She had a pretty smile and a look in her eye that said, "Don't mess with me, honey." So we didn't. I was about to leave when the revelation hit. As the nurse was taking his pulse and I was kissing his forehead, Bob said to her, "What's your name?" And she said, "Kath." Well, that was it, wasn't it? His 3rd time lucky bloody omen. Nothing could go wrong now. Kath was by his side. Kath would pull him through. Kath was right there. Not this Kath, though. This Kath was ushered out post-haste to make way for his new nurse doppelganger. Giant haystacks. He always liked big women. He showed her more affection in 3 minutes than he'd shown for me in 3 hours. I couldn't believe it. After all these years, he was still making me jealous. I was losing him in more ways than one. I won't mind. But as I went to get into the car, I realized I still hadn't dried out. She was probably in there giving him a private massage, and he was still dripping down my legs. Talk about having the best of both worlds. Never mind. I had him first. I sat in the car and I suddenly went numb. My head hit the steering wheel. I was out for the count. Nowhere, blackness. My God, the kids. I came to and it was dark. Where were the kids tonight? I'd been shunting them around for so long I'd lost track. "Just keep them out the way," Bob kept saying. He couldn't even face his own children. Such a bloody shame. God knows what they'll turn out like. Me mother's. That's it. That's where they were, safe and sound. Definitely no drugs for them tonight. It wasn't going to be much fun for me either. Driving home to an empty house while Lord Muck was in there getting pampered. So, anything he can do, I said to myself. And I checked into the most expensive country hotel I could find. The room was almost identical to the one he was in, without the smell, without her. I paid with our credit card, showered, had a 5-course meal, with a bottle of rosé, and then settled down to watch the late-night film. That's when I knew I'd gone to heaven. Burt Lancaster in The Swimmer. I watched every bare-chested moment of it. When it ended, I just burst into tears. All I could see was Bob. What the hell was I going to do if I lost him? If he drowned? Didn't bear thinking about, really. Tonight was going to be bad enough. I hadn't slept alone for as long as I could remember. I just needed a hug. All I could do was hold on tight to my pillow and have a good old cry. I hadn't cried for so long. Now I thought I'd never stop. I cried, I tried for such a long time to tell, to say how I truly feel. Tonight, today was just the wrong time, and now I'm lost without you here. I know, you know, deep down inside you, just how and why I need you so. Please try this once to hear my voice when I say, please don't let us go. Although I might not show it, all jokes apart, I know I've always loved you, straight from the heart. Right from the start I loved you, straight from the heart. He took his CC test the next day and failed. It was worse than expected. They recommended open heart surgery as soon as possible, immediately within the week. He was living on borrowed time, they said. He could drop down dead tomorrow. He had a strong heart, but everything around it was collapsing. They might have to bypass his 3 major arteries. They wouldn't know for sure until they cut him open. That's what they were going to do. Cut him open from head to toe, skin him alive, slice out a vein the size of his leg, then saw through his ribcage to get to his heart. They'd given us all the booklets. Bob scanned them all. We've been staying at my posh country hotel since then, watching movies, waiting for the phone call. It came today. They'll start dissecting him tomorrow, if he decides to turn up. I know, you know, deep down just how and why I need you so. Please try this once to hear my voice when I say please don't let us go. Although I might not show it, all jokes apart, I know I've always loved you straight from the heart.
Well, what the hell are you doing here?
I could ask the same.
You could, and I'd say I was getting pissed.
Well, I can see that.
So can I.
Have you had enough?
Have you?
I think so.
Yeah, well, I haven't. Set him up, Harry. One for the lady and one for the dead man.
Oh, stop it.
And one for Liberace. He's dead.
Bob, you've had enough.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. Cancel those drinks, landlord. Bring us a bottle of champagne instead. And then piss off into your back parlour and let me talk to my wife in private.
Bob!
Shut up, woman. I bought the bloody place. Isn't that right, Harry? Hey? Don't worry, love. He's as deaf as a post. He's the Beethoven of Lower Knutsford.
I think it's time we went
Went where?
home.
What? A Mr. Late Night movie? It's a good one.
We can watch it back at the hotel.
No. Not this one we can't. No. What is it, Harry? What are you showing here tonight?
When Harry met Sally.
What happened? Hey, where was she? Don't tell me. She pissed off and left you for Barry Manilow. You had the dick, but he had the nose.
I'm sorry about this.
Don't worry, I'm used to it. I'll be in the back if you need me.
Thanks.
You what? You'll be in the back if she needs you? Are you propositioning my bloody wife? It's a good job you're walking away, I'll tell you that. Bloody hell.
Have you finished?
Hey?
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. Everything, I suppose.
What do you want to start?
Sex. Love. Death.
Is that it?
Of course it's not bloody it. Whatever you want to talk about, love, I'll talk about. What do you want to talk about first?
Look, Bob, I'm tired. I will talk, but I'm not going to play any of your games. I want to know. Yeah, I want to know what you've decided so I can get on with my life. Or our life, as the case may be.
Oh, you don't want to hear a joke, then? Eh? Like the one about the vegetarian who got run over by Linda McCartney? No. You don't want to hear that. I know what you want. You want to know if I'm insured, don't you? How much I'm worth if I pop my clogs.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
No, you should know. You should know. It's my little secret, but I will tell you. With the house, the pub, and my little piece of paper, I am worth over $1 million. What about that, eh?
Is that all you can think about?
Of course it bloody is. It's my bloody credit card that's paying for everything. The fancy hotel, the holidays, the kids.
They're dying to see you, Bob.
And I'm dying, no.
You don't have to. They love you. I love you.
Stop it.
We just want you back. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to run a pub. We just want you, however you are, for what you are.
Rubbish! I've seen the result of what you want me to do. Strong men after 6 hours of being ripped apart, looking like Martians, with tubes coming out of every orifice. Just sitting there like zombies from Night of the Living Dead. Oh, that was a great film, that was. I mean, when that arm came through that window, it
Shut up about your bloody films! I'm sick to death of it! We're talking about real life here, and all you can do is babble on about bloody films.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realise you'd lost your sense of humour. Perhaps you should have married a doctor.
I married you because I loved you. I still do, but you're making it bloody difficult.
Yeah, I love you too. Cheers.
Is that it?
Eh? No, we've got half a bottle left yet. And then it is decision time. If I get that far, I'm not feeling too good, Kath. I'll tell you that for nothing.
You're killing yourself, aren't you?
So are you. I mean, the only difference between you and me, Kath, is that I've got to stop what I'm doing and you can carry on. Still, never mind, I've got a plan. Have you got a plan?
I don't know yet.
Ah, well, there you are, you see, that's another difference. One more and we'll be the same. That's the plan.
Bob, you're drunk.
I'm not drunk, I'm pissed out of my bloody mind. I'm on my way to Xanadu, I am. That was a crap film. No, I won't say it. We will carry on talking about real life, if we must.
Or death, if you want.
Oh, do I hear a note of resignation? Are we on the road to Mandalay? Is she offering a bit of sexy voluntary euthanasia?
No, she's bloody not.
Shame. Thought you might have enjoyed putting a bag over my head. Getting your own back for all those sexist jokes.
I'm not going to stay here and watch you destroy yourself, Bob. Not anymore. If you've nothing positive to say, I don't want to know. Well?
A big hole in the ground with what? Shit! Do I have to tell you everything, woman? Can't you use your imagination? I'm just having one more last spring, that's all, before...
Before what?
Before we go back for a bit of mad, passionate sex. See, I told you the first time that's what I wanted to talk about. Eh? How can I die and miss out on all that sweaty, naked truth, eh?
How can you live like this?
I can't.
You have made up your mind, haven't you?
Oh, yes, yes.
You really want to die?
No, woman, what are you I've already been there and bloody back. In Harry's back bloody parlour while you were getting pissed. It was great, but it can wait. Hey, I'm a poet and I don't know it.
I don't understand, Bob.
Oh, you bloody don't, neither do I, but I did. I died, Kath, eh? I collapsed, I died, and I woke up again and it was fantastic. It was like 2001, only better. Sorry. Look, I knew, Kath, I knew the reasons for everything. I've forgotten most of it now, of course.
That must have been nice for you.
Don't mock, Kath. You want the truth, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I went through that tunnel of light and I've been on that threshold. It was bloody beautiful. I would have stayed there as well if it weren't for you. Kath has got to see this, I said. I've got to tell her. And pow! I woke up.
I see.
Here I am.
You want to drag me down with you?
What? That's not... What are you talking about, woman? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying...
What are you saying then? That you died and went to heaven and came back to tell me about it? Who the hell do you think you are, Jesus bloody Christ? You're dying for Christ's sake, and I'm trying to keep you alive. And it's nearly killing me.
Oh. Hey. Hey, come on, I'm sorry, all right?
Don't leave me alone.
Look, No, I didn't mean it all like that. Eh? What I meant was, I know now there's nothing to be afraid of, eh? I want to carry on, Kath. I want us to carry on. I know now that I can change. Kath, I love you. I need you.
You'll never change.
I'm talking, aren't I?
But you're drunk. I bet you were even getting pissed in heaven.
No, you don't need it there. They've got some fantastic drugs. And all the angels look like Raquel Welch.
Typical. So, where do we go from here?
I told you. We finish this, we go back for a longer, and in the morning, I book into Heartbreak Hotel for the start of my big change.
Oh, and what will that be?
Well, I thought if they don't slip with the scalpel, I thought we'd sell the pub and I'd become a film critic. What do you think?
I think that Barry Norman should watch his back.
I'll drink to that.
No, Bob, stop it. Stop
Can't stop yet. That'd spoil the plan. Got to finish the bottle.
Look, what plan?
Never mind. Phase 1, drink.
No, look, you've had enough, Bob. Will you stop it?
No, not quite.
For goodness sake, I'm warning you.
Phase 2. Time to get slap and tickle. Come on.
No.
Come on.
Not here.
Don't miss balls. Come on, give us a kiss.
No, stop.
Come on, give us a kiss. Gonna love you tonight,
Get off.
even if we're killed. Oh,
Look,
ooh,
you're hurting
oh la
Get
la.
off.
Ooh, gonna love you tonight, even if we're killed.
Get off!
Hey.
Stop fooling around, Bob, for God's sake. Bob. No. No, please, God. Not now. Harry? Harry! Call an ambulance, quick!
What's wrong?
Call a bloody ambulance!
All right, all right.
Whew. Why didn't you tell me he collapsed before? If he's dead, you've got some explaining to do. Giving him more champagne. You and your bloody drink. Tell him to hurry up. All jokes apart, I know I've always loved you. Straight from the heart.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it was a joke. Just another joke. Hey, come on.
You are scaring me to death with calling a bloody ambulance. I thought you would.
I know. That was phase 3.
What?
The ambulance. Well, I'm in no fit state to drive, am I? I mean, I thought if I arrive for the op as an emergency, they'll take more care of me, won't they? Hey? Hey, come on, you're all right. You're all right. We're all right, eh? Hey?
No more jokes, please.
I bloody well told you I'd get you back one day, woman.
What am I going to do with you?
No more facts. No more drink, Kath.
Promise.
Cross my dicky heart. Will you promise me something?
What?
Well, you know they're going to shave me for the operation. All the way down. Smooth as a baby's bum.
I know. You look lovely.
Yeah, well, if I don't pull through, I will. But if I don't, I want you to promise me that you'll collect all the hair and have it stuck back on. And then I want a Viking's burial. Pushed on to the waters. Kirk Douglas style.
Do we have to talk about this now?
Ambulance is here.
I best go out and meet him, eh? Come on. Give us a kiss. Do you know who I feel like right now?
No.
I feel like Warren Beatty in...
Don't tell me. Bonnie and Clyde.
No. Heaven can wait. Play it again, Gabriel. See you tomorrow, Mrs. Jordan.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Jordan. I know, you know, deep down inside you, just how and why I need you so. Please try this once to hear my voice when I say, please don't let us go. Although I might not show it, all jokes apart, I know I've always loved you, straight from the heart. Right from the start I loved you, straight from the He had his operation a few days later. 6 hours it took. They stopped his heart, put in the parts, and started him up again. He was right. He did come out looking like a Martian. But 2 weeks later, he was back on his feet, with only a razor-thin scar to show for it. There wasn't much post-operation counselling, according to Bob, and they didn't cure him of his addictions. The doctors hadn't reckoned on them. 3 months later, he was back at the bar, drinking pints and chain smoking. That was 3 years ago. His cholesterol count's 3 times higher than it should be now. The doctors say he could have it done again. Some people do, but he won't. He cancelled the medical insurance, went back to his old, I don't believe in people making profit out of illness routine. Pity he never felt the same way about his addictions. We're still together, just. The kids have all left home. Bob bought another pub. They're running that. Like father, like sons. I worry a lot, drink a lot, smoke a lot, dream a lot. I haven't got any answers, and I can't blame Bob. I'm just another woman under the influence, I suppose.
Thank you very much for coming to the last night of the 5 showcase performances here. I always make a little speech at the end because a lot of local Clapham businessmen, few of which are tonight, helped sponsor it and made it happen. And there's somebody from the British Heart Foundation is in tonight as well. Because the people that come in tonight that will be going to their cause and to the Royal Marsden Hospital. I'd really like to thank you for coming. On the way out, there are lots of leaflets if you want to know anything about heart disease or anything like that. In the meantime, have a drink, have a cigarette outside, and we'll be joining the raffle in about 2 minutes. Okay, thank you very much for coming. All the best.